So true self and no self are just the same thing, would you say?
It depends. It depends on what the teacher means when he says true self and no self. But yeah, a guru or a teacher may say when they're talking about the true self, they're talking about the self. It depends. Right? Person just has to be clear within the context of what they're speaking of. Yeah. It's just like if someone says mind, or no mind. The mind could just mean the mind, or the mind could mean the mind of God. And if you're talking about the mind of God, it's one of the same with no mind, because it's not a mind. But how would you describe that? So some people may say the mind because they're just talking about the thing that is allowing everything to be as it is, everything appearing to be as it is. So some may call that the mind. I'm fine with either term. It just depends on what we're saying within the context that we're speaking in.
Okay, I'll leave it.
Yeah, that's why this stuff gets really confusing, because people are using different terms to explain the same thing, right?
Yeah, it's very confusing. I suppose all I can do is just.
Right. That's why we're trying to get people to have the direct experiences themselves. Because once you have the direct experience yourself, you don't need any teachings.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the teachings is just pointing the finger to the moon, but you don't need the teachings. The teachings aren't going to bring you anywhere closer to God realization. It's just a map that you're using so that you have some kind of you have some form of navigation. You have some form of guideline of something that you're going to use to try to get you there. But that's all part of the ego. It's just, but you have an ego. So what is the ego going to do? The ego is going to seek out teachers and to try to guide them, right? But once you have God realization, you realize that all that stuff was just made up. It's real from the sense that it's real experience, but again, it's not what it appears to be. Right? Just always keep that in mind. Right? Your only job is to wake up. And to wake up, you have to sit and realize that anything that comes at you is part of the self. When I mean self, I don't mean the ultimate self. I'm talking about the ego. It's part of the ego. It's what the ego does. The ego doesn't want to die. The ego is trying to do its best to hold on. And most people get trapped in that. I know many people who were seeking, and they stopped seeking because they got trapped in astrology or got trapped in this and this and that. And I'm trying to tell you that all those things are cool and everything, but that's not what it is.
Yeah.
All right? These are spiritual stuff.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not talking about spirituality here. I'm talking about spiritual enlightenment. I'm talking about even higher than spiritual enlightenment. I'm talking about moksha. I'm talking about nirvana. I'm talking about Tiryatita. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about astral realms and out of body experiences and astrology and palm reading, and I'm not talking about those things. Those things are cool, I guess, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about God realization. When you realize that there is no God, or there is a God, but there is no God, because is there a God? My answer is yes, no, maybe, and maybe not. A person has to realize with direct experience that God is God, no God, probably a God, and probably not. All those things are true when you strip away the layers, when you realize when I say that nothing is as it appears to be. And when you realize that nothing is as it appears to be, all there is at this point is the self. Self with a capital S. Not the ego self. The self, the ultimate self. The nothing, the nothingness, the void, sunyata, and all the different terms that you'll hear. That's all that's left. Because that's all there ever is, and that's all there will ever be. Everything that you see, everything you taste, touch, hear, smell, all part of the illusion that's creating what we call Maya. Because at this level, it's beyond your senses. And when you get beyond your senses, you experience Sat Chittananda. Consciousness, existence, and bliss.